Hi folks, this is the third example at the end of the transformation investigation. So we want to sketch the graph of this function here, and we can see that the parent function, well, is just going to be the function y equals square root of x. Okay, so we notice here that all the transformations are horizontal transformations. So the square root function is not being multiplied by any numbers, so no vertical stretches, and there's no addition or subtraction after the square root, meaning there's no vertical translation. So everything is horizontal here. Okay, so the first thing we need to do is we need to determine what are some basic points on square root of x. Okay, so let's draw ourselves a little function, a little graph here, and we know that square root of x looks like this. And we definitely want to take that starting point, 0, 0. Okay, definitely want to take that point there. The next easiest point would be 1 and 1. Okay, sorry about that. There we go. That's a 1. And the next point, if we take 2, it means I have to work with the square root of 2. I don't want to work with such a small number. So let me think, what's my next nicest root? My next nice perfect square root would be 4. So I'm going to take the point 4, 2. Okay, as much as possible, I want to work with integers if I can. Okay, so let's see what's going on here. So because none of the transformations are vertical, these components will all stay the same. So everything's happening to the x components. So let's start with, again, we have to go in order of operation. Let's start with the multiplication. So remember that anything that's horizontal will always have the opposite effect of what you see. So since it's 2 that's multiplying, we're actually going to be dividing by 2. So we take our x value and we divide it by 2. And then we look, we see x minus 2, but recall that the effect is always opposite. So we're going to be adding 2. Okay, and here the y value doesn't change. Let's do the same thing here. The x value is going to be first divided by 2, and then we're going to add 2. The y value doesn't change because there's no vertical transformation. And lastly, we're going to take our x value divided by 2, and then add 2. And here we've got our y value doesn't change. So here, what are our 3 points? Well, this is 0 plus 2, so we have 2, 0. Okay, here we have 1/2 plus 2, so we got 2.51. And here 4 divided by 2 is 2, plus 2 is 4, 2. Okay. All right, so now let's draw our graph. Okay, so let's just fold this up so we can draw it here. So again, the first thing I have to do is I have to choose my scale, and these numbers are all fairly small, but I notice in this case here they're all positive, so I'm going to bring my y-axis and move it a little to the left. Okay, and again, all positive, so I'm going to move my x-axis a little further down. Okay, so you choose your scale and your axis depending on the points that you have here. So if you wanted to, you could draw the parent function, root x, so 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2, 3, 4. That'll also be 1, 2. So if you wanted to draw your parent function first, okay, eventually you won't need to do that, but at first you might want to do that. And so now we're going to draw our 3 points. So we've got 2, 0. Okay. Okay, so notice here, no vertical translation. Our next point is 2.5, so 2.5 and 1. Okay, and our next point is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2. Okay, so now from there, we can draw, since we know the shape of the function, this helps us draw the shape. So there we go. Our function is going to look something like this. So we notice here that all we had were horizontal transformations. Okay, that's it for this one.